There are snow alerts in places that just don't typically get snow. It's been since 1977 since some coastal areas of Florida, Georgia, into the Carolinas have seen this kind of snow, and it's on the way within the next 48 hours. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice, tracking this rare event that's going to unfold between Tuesday into Wednesday here across the deep south here in areas that just don't typically get snow. Now, if you're new to the channel here and you want to receive updates, please go ahead and like this video, and in the comment section, let me know where you're watching from. Subscribe to this channel, that's important, and then turn on those notifications because you know things are going to change as we move forward here, and I will be sure to keep you up to date along the way as those changes come in. So like I mentioned, we've got winter storm watches in place from Atlanta southbound across Georgia, soon to be into the Carolinas, and I've got brand new model data here that's going to map all this out for us because there's a lot to unpack and unfold with this system. One thing's for sure, it is going to be very cold. It is getting very cold in many areas of the mountains northbound. Those teens, those single digits going to sweep across the country, including tomorrow across much of the country for Martin Luther King Day, including impacts to the inauguration, as you have seen. Let's map out who's going to see snow and when. Well, the mountains of North Carolina is seeing a snow right now. That's going to continue as we go into the evening hours. This as the colder air is moving in. Areas north and west of Asheville getting that upslope flow from Tennessee. This is the cold air is working in. Then we take a bit of a break for Monday morning. Then by Monday evening, look down toward Texas. We've got something a brewing down here, and that's our low pressure system that we've known has going to be a problem for a long time now. It starts developing here, and as you can see, Louisiana, Texas, as far south as New Orleans. In fact, New Orleans has not received this kind of snow in 3 decades. I mean, this is going to be kind of one for the record books in many areas as we look at this Gulf Coast snow. Look at this snow flying around by Tuesday afternoon all the way into New Orleans. It may start as rain in New Orleans, but it's sure going to end as snow. That's the same thing for coastal Mississippi, coastal Alabama, and then South Georgia. Can you believe it? The panhandle of Florida is going to see accumulating snow. Panama City Beach west through Destin. These areas are just not meant to get snow. So will Tallahassee. Going to get some snow in North Florida. Possibly as far south as Jacksonville. Ocala North could see some flurries. I don't think it quite makes it into Orlando, but weirder things have happened. You've got a deep low pressure system with cold air on the other side. This is a type setup that just doesn't really happen. I mean, Orlando can get cold in the winter, but to get snow in the northern parts of Central Florida, that's pretty wild. And this model shows by Tuesday evening, we're getting into some of that action. How about the Western Carolinas? Well, one of those rare occasions where really I-85 south, I'll go ahead and say I-85 along the I-85 corridor from Atlanta to Greenville to Charlotte could see snow flying around, but it's looking more like the I-20 corridor south. Usually you're saying the opposite. Usually it's, rain for the low country and snow north, but this time it's the opposite. It's just going to be cold and dry in the Western Carolinas with the hopes that maybe some of you in Greenwood, Anderson, Lawrence, Abbeville, maybe Union County could see a quick burst of some snow, and it would be Tuesday evening if we do. But really, it's kind of following that eastern side of the state map here, and snow could be flying around in Savannah, in Hilton Head, and not flying around in the upstate of South Carolina. How wild is this? This would be going into Tuesday evening. This would be 11 p.m. We'd have snow in Myrtle Beach. We'd have snow in Columbia. There'd be snow in Orangeburg. This would continue into the Outer Banks. There are going to be some magnificent pictures out of this by the time we wake up on Wednesday morning. Beach covered in snow. You've got palm trees covered in snow. This is a very rare event for Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, and one that we'll be talking about for a while. Now look at some of this, snowflake action in the southern part of the upstate. Now it's not out of the question to get some snow in these areas, but it's looking more and more less likely. By the time we wake up Wednesday morning, most of the action's over with. I-95 East, I'm used to saying that for the Northeast, not the Southeast. I-95 eastbound in Florida. Again, I can't even believe the words coming out of my mouth. I-95 eastbound could see some snow lingering into very early Wednesday morning, but by the time you wake up, most of this is done, and it's just very cold. Now, this high-resolution model I just showed you, a little bit aggressive on the totals. For the mountains with that northwest flow, we're getting 1 to 3 inches as we go into the overnight hours. But here comes that coastal snow, Louisiana. Now, right at the coast, it's hard to get high accumulations because you have some influence of a warm ocean. But I think that's going to be overcome in Louisiana. You'll have measurable snow in New Orleans, it's looking like, Mississippi, Alabama, North Florida. It's going to be hard to get accumulation in Panama City, but I do think we'll see it flying around Tuesday evening. But you go west toward Pensacola, Destin, those areas are likely to see a couple of inches of snow. Again, those crystal clear waters, the sand, it's usually white as snow, right? That's kind of the saying down there, the Emerald Coast. You've got that sand that's just white as snow. Well, it's literally going to be snow on those beaches moving forward here. South Georgia, this model is showing Statesboro, Pooler, maybe just inland of Savannah could have several inches of snow. This would be pretty wild. This would be epic in these areas. Basically, I-95 west in Georgia, this is showing half a foot of snow on this model. That's a little aggressive. It's definitely an outlier, but it just shows you the potential is there. Doesn't show much for western parts of the upstate into western North Carolina, but from Charleston to Hilton Head up through Myrtle Beach, a solid 1 to 2 inches can't be ruled out, but this model's wanting to show 4 or 5 inches. Let's show you one of our global models just for some comparison here. Shows snow deep into Louisiana, New Orleans, Mississippi, Alabama, Panhandle of Florida, really Panama City west. Colder air is ingrained in there, and that just shows you where that snow line sets up. This is showing it's on the Georgia-Florida line. But that snow gets up to about I-20, but is especially more plentiful along I-95 from the low country up through Myrtle Beach. This would be Tuesday night from about 8 p.m. to about 1 a.m. It's a short-lived, quick hop of a system here, and this European model is painting here. Again, the ground's covered in New Orleans, 2 to 4 inches. This is more of an average that I've seen from the models. Kind of lines up with a better average here for Alabama. Again, Panama City, a dusting to an inch. Could be the first time in a long time that snow has covered areas of Panama City Beach. West through Destin, Pensacola, 2 inches, not out of the question. South Georgia from Savannah to Brunswick. You got Jekyll Island, St. Simon's Island. There are going to be some beautiful pictures here of some rare coastal snow. Same thing for Charleston, Hilton Head Island, up through Georgetown, Horry County, getting about 2 inches, up through Wilmington, Outer Banks. From there, west, I can't rule out a dusting in the upstate on these models. And in fact, if we were to kind of look at the average of all the different models, if you were just to pick the upstate, it would show, a lot of the models want to paint at least some snow flying around or falling. Most of the average here is a dusting to an inch. So it's certainly not out of the question that Greer, Greenville, Spartanburg, southbound could see a quick hit of some snow. But to be honest with you, the European is kind of on an island of its own. The GFS has only 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 30 that are showing any measurable snow across the area. And the Canadian, which was our most aggressive model, only shows about half of its models, and the average is about a half an inch. So the Canadian, the GFS, not really buying as much snow, making it back toward the western parts of the upstate. Here's another way to look at it. Let's turn on some boundaries here just so you can kind of see the counties, and let's turn on the states here. I'll turn off counties. It's a little distracting. But here we go. This is kind of the probability. Oh, man, zoomed out way too much. Probability of seeing a moderate impact to a winter storm. So expect disruptions to daily life. Where are we going to see the roads be an issue? And here we are across the southeast in areas that just don't typically get snow. That likelihood jumps up to a 40% chance. This would be Tuesday night. 40 to 50% chance. These yellows would be 50 to 60% chance. This continuing into Wednesday morning, but that chance goes down to 10% north of 85. South of 85 to Columbia, it's a 20% chance. So 10, 20, 30 plus. So the likelihood of a moderate winter storm in these areas is looking more likely. A major winter storm, possible along the coast. That's kind of where we're talking 3 to 4, maybe plus inches of snow. And you got to remember, folks, there aren't snowplows just sitting around in Myrtle Beach or Charleston. They're being brought down from the DOT from the northern parts of the upstate. So there's only a certain amount of snowplows and treatment that they can do or that they will do, that they are doing right now. But you got to remember, it's so cold beginning this evening in many areas that one, it's going to be a dry snow when it falls, so it accumulates a lot more effectively. But two, the ground is so covered that whatever does fall is going to hit the ground. So it's basically Tuesday night is the time frame. Here's an average of all the different computer models and what the National Weather Service kind of put as their cap of the forecast. It's looking like 1.2 inches will fall in New Orleans. You've got about an inch in Panama City, 2 to 4 inches in Destin over to Pensacola. Wild, right? South Alabama, South Georgia, Hilton Head Island to Savannah. We got 2 inches through Pooler. I mean, this is a really rare snow occurrence where Charleston's going to get 2 to 4 inches. Horry County, the ground could be covered. Much further north than, say, Columbia, you're looking at a dusting, maybe. And that's a big maybe. Looks like it's so close yet so far away for the upstate. You got to remember, it's getting cold right now. That wind, as you can feel it, is picking up and continues to drop those temperatures to where by this evening it's in the 40s to 50s and then tumbling on down. By this evening at 6, 7 p.m., we're dropping below freezing, and it does not look like we get above freezing in many areas of Greenville, Spartanburg, Atlanta, Charlotte. We don't get above freezing from tonight at 8 p.m. until Thursday at noon. When you wake up on Martin Luther King morning, we've got temperatures in the teens, even single digits in the mountains. Look at this, sub-zero temperatures back through the upper Midwest, and then going. High temperatures in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. Again, not getting above freezing. Charlotte, Greenville, Spartanburg, Anderson, Atlanta. This will do a number on your pipes. Folks, if you've had problems before with your pipes freezing, you're probably going to have it again with this type of a setup here. Now, moving on here as we go into Monday night, Tuesday morning, that's when we're really dropping very close to sub-zero temperatures. I think it's -2, -3 in Boone, Beach Mountain, Sugar Mountain, Mount Mitchell, and Mount Pisgah. We're in the teens across many other areas. And then, again, Tuesday afternoon, we get to 29 to 31 degrees, below freezing. So again, now we're 48 hours below freezing with those hard freezes at night, just not doing us any favors on our pipes. And it's not then that you notice the problems. The water's frozen. It's when it thaws. That doesn't happen until probably Friday afternoon, even into Saturday. So folks, please take precautions now. Buy some heat tape. Go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, your local hardware store. Get some of those tools right now. Leave your cabinets open. Drip your faucets tonight, tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Each night you want to make it a daily habit just to drip your faucet. Not a lot. A little drip just to keep the water moving. I do it in my furthest bathroom from the intake. If you don't know where your intake is in your home, we have a bathroom that's kind of cold. It's on the north side of the house, and it tends to be the coldest. So I go to that bathroom, turn the cold water on just to drip so that the water has to circulate all the way through my house, all through all those pipes, but especially that far when it's got that kind of exposed north wall. It just tends to be the coldest room in the house off by itself. Anyway, as we go toward Wednesday morning, again, we're down to the single digits, more in the mountains, sub-zero here across Boone, Banner Elk. We're talking -2, -3. Again, up in the higher elevations of the mountains here into East Tennessee, we're talking -3 to maybe 2 or 3 degrees above zero. And then Wednesday afternoon, we're trying to get to freezing. It's 30, 31, but I don't think we do it. 32 in Asheville, 30 in Greer, 31 in Anderson. Just a very, very cold day to where, again, Thursday morning, teens, 20s, but Thursday, woohoo! Finally, we're to 36 in Asheville, 35 in Greer, 34 in Charlotte, 38 in Atlanta. that's probably when you start to have some problems. If you don't have the problems then, it's going to be going into Friday afternoon when we're in the low to mid 40s. That's when things start to thaw. You get a little drip drip, and then the pipes have burst because they expanded, and that water becomes more evident because the pipes have thawed. And unfortunately, we got our problems. Saturday going into the weekend, still very cold across much of the country. I mean, these are about 10 degrees below normal, but at least we're climbing out of it. And then by Sunday, we're still in the low 40s. Next week, looks like we're finally back to the 50s for the first time in a long time. So simply put, a very rare coastal snow happening for Florida. Did I say those words? Yeah, those words just came out of my mouth. How weird is that? For Louisiana, for Mississippi, for Alabama, for both Carolinas and Georgia, this is going to be epic. Again, please let me know where you're watching from right now. That really helps me out when forecasting. Put it in the comment section. And if you haven't already, please like this video. I would really be grateful if you would consider subscribing to this channel if you don't already. I love what I do. I love providing early warning of severe weather of any kind, and my goal is always to keep you posted. So if you don't subscribe to this channel, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, WYFF4, please consider doing that right now. That would make me very happy, and we'll continue to keep you up to date on the ongoing weather event as we move forward this week. Things can change, folks. Know that any track deviation of 20, 30 miles means that those areas north could see more snow or less snow. So keep tuned to the forecast, and we'll let you know how this cold unfolds this week.